Good now, revolutionaries, and a special good now to anybody who was with me last night in the meme coin casino. I'm going to share an update about that later, but first, I just want to say welcome to the show. Whether you're joining on TikTok, whether you're joining on YouTube, or you're somewhere in a far off distant future when we're on another streaming platform, thank you so much for being here. My name is Evan. This is the Rise Up Morning Show, the best show on the block, where everyday people like us come together to learn about cryptocurrency, what it is, why it matters, how to start using it, and how to stay safe when we're out here. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining me. Aha! There's our guy, Alex, my good friend and co-host, and he went away. Alex, send me the request again if you would, please, and I will bring you promptly up here, and then I will tell you all about my adventures in the meme coin casino last night. We're every Monday through Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time to answer your questions about blockchain. That day at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time to answer your questions about blockchain. That's what really crypto is. 7 a.m. Wow. Hey, I
I
gave
don't know what's
myself an
going on.
introduction. uh, Alex, I have to tell you something. Meki, thank you so much for your comment. Anybody watching on YouTube, Meki says, "Love you guys." I still have my faceless NFT from 2022. Alex, this was probably told to me in confidence, but it's too funny not to share. As I sit here watching a 1 minute candle on a token I need to sell. No rush, but don't keep me dishonest. Um, Somebody told me yesterday. I won't name their name, but we were having a really good talk about the Faceless Many and those tokens specifically, and they said the Faceless Many is the softest, plushest, gentlest rug in the entire Web3 community. And listen, we we talk about it too. I said it's not like we so much as pulled the rug on people. What we did was we just made a really comfortable place for everybody to lay down and take a nap, and then kind of roll people up. It's like Cardano, except Cardano is probably made of burlap. And the best part about it is what keeps it from not being a rug. We joked and we laughed is that we wake up every day and we're here and we are in the trenches and we're slogging with shovels and pitchforks and whatever, and the community is right there with us. I don't know that I have, in my time in the space, been part of a community that is like more determined to deliver value. And I'm so proud to get up and come to work with you and Mihir and Mac and Michael and Joe and everyone in the community every day on that. So it gave me a chuckle because I know they said it in complete jest and love. um, I thought it might make you smile.
Yeah, I think I think it is funny.
The softest rug.
It's it's just it's a the ideal term for it is really just a word that is not allowed to exist in the NFT space. You like have
Okay.
to be one or the other. You can't you can't be a business that didn't succeed. You know.
Or one that's continuing to try. Like you gotta be awesome right away, or you get a GTFO.
But regardless, the first model didn't succeed, so something
Yeah.
else has to be done. But like that's not an option. You simply have to be either the promised land or you are a scam. There's no option to be, uh, which is funny because I don't know off the top of my head what the stat is, but I'd be curious like what percentage of startups fail. It's got to be
It's
the
high.
overwhelming majority.
Over 90% of them fail within the first 5 years. Almost only 5% of startups. I'm sorry, 95, because that's the stat. 5% of startups are still here 5 years later. That's it. And an
Oh,
even
there you
smaller
go.
percentage of those are profitable and make it in the long term. Like,
Yeah.
it's like Pepe. You make it to $1 million market cap, great. Are you going to make it to 10? Probably not. To 100? Probably not. To a billion? Probably not. Most of them won't. So make me proud, man.
Well, there you have it, folks.
There you have it, folks. We're here. We're committed. And meanwhile, just take a nap. It's really soft. You're here on the Rise Up Morning Show because we're committed to helping you understand Web3 blockchain. Leave your questions below. Your resonance says 1 out of 10 make it. That mentality will change when everyone stops thinking they'll be rich on everything. Yeah, we'll see. Um,
Yep.
But let me tell you, can I give you an update, Alex?
Please,
And
I'm listening. Let me go grab my coffee while you
okay, great,
regale me with
perfect.
your update.
I'm gonna entertain you with this bit of a tale. So Alex and I, we got kind of a thing going. We've been encouraging each other, and everyone in Faceless Labs is encouraging each other right now and giving support for trading memes. And I uh, was on Rise Up After Dark yesterday, sitting here at my computer terminal, and I was trading some meme tokens in the casino. I have a goal to make $100 a session. That's it. That's my goal. And I am practicing what I preach. Hey, Edwin, perfect timing. Telling you a story about our adventures in the meme coin casino, trying to practice what I preach, which means one, getting really familiar with the tools I'm using before I invest any significant sum of money. BonkBot is totally new to me. Got all my settings adjusted. Using DEX Screener intensely for really the first time. Uniswap on Base, that's new to me. So I'm playing around with the different kinds of fees and stuff. Base as a network is new to me. So I'm learning, and I'm really just starting to give myself goals for this. And last night was, I don't know, one of a handful of sessions I've really sat down and said, okay, tonight we go to work. I've got my trading journal. I'm going to make $100 tonight.
Tonight we dine in hell.
Tonight we dine in, and dine in hell I did. Let me tell you this story. So I like to go. We've been talking about this. Quick review for anyone. We've been going to DEX Screener or DEX Tools, and what we tend to do is we tend to look for tokens that have a significant amount of volume in the last hour or so. My three rules are this: I'm looking for at least one token that is like less than an hour old, something that looked like this, for example. A lot of those charts look like this. Some of them go down and they never come back up again, but that's okay. My Mr. Right Now is just giving me a little pump and then I'm out. Other kinds of tokens I'm interested in are those that have gained a lot of attention in the last day. I use this example, media, because yesterday it was number one. Um, the way DEX Screener is oriented, Alex, notices this too, I'm sure, is that it is designed for you to see these big gainers, see how young they are, and think, wow, it's got so much room left to grow, and buy in. And so a lot of naive, inattentive people who missed this, where I pumped and dumped, they're going to come in here and drive it up, or they're going to come in here and drive it up more. So you have to be paying attention all the time, but there are opportunities to make money all around you. Whether you're pumping, dumping one time, whether taking a gamble on the next Pepe and holding it for 10 days, I don't know. My solution has generally been make 3x on a token, take it out. Alex and I have been talking about it. He said that was his system. I was like, that's a brilliant system. Alternatively, sometimes when I'm up 2x, I'll take out 25% just to give myself some funny money back. Last night, things weren't going so hot. I picked some that were kind of up, kind of down. I did a little sell, whatever. And then I lucked into a token whose name I saw and I instantly knew. I instantly knew. It was less than an hour old that it was going to be a hit. It was already number 21 on the hot whatever tokens of Solana. But the name, my friends, I can't say the name on a live stream. I can't show it to you. It has a slur in it. It makes me ashamed for the crypto community. And I honestly thought for about 2 minutes, I was like, do I want to? And then I was like, listen, man, in the last bull run, I made the mistake of not investing in the Trump NFTs when I saw what they were and what they were going to be. I had values. Now, I'm just going to have to explain to my accountant why I purchased an asset I can't say publicly. Because at the end of last night, Lisa was the one who said, Alex, she said, Evan, you could just let this sit. It was up a little bit. It was so young. I was like, you know what? You're right, Lisa. I've already made $30 tonight. I only had made $30.
Mm-hmm.
Not very active. I said, what's the worst that can happen is if it goes totally to zero, I'll still have $10 of profit, which is a lot more than most people in the meme coin casino can say. And I stuck to the rule. Only hold one overnight. I love that rule. Stole it from
Yep.
Alex. Think it's great. I woke up this morning and it's up 668%. I'm not a rich man. We're not all buying lunch on my account, but we met our goal, exceeded it, and it just goes to show you, man. I mean, like I say, you can look up this token now if you go to Dex Screener. I obviously somebody is having a laugh about it, but I don't know, man. If this is what people see about our space, you know what I mean? Jim Cramer's gonna see this. It just, we got a way to go.
There's There's so many. Someone, I don't even remember who it was. One of the prolific, Twitter profiles that memes hard
Hmm.
was they just like screenshotted the contents of their meme phantom wallet, and it was just like, how do I report these on my taxes? And the names of these things were just the stuff of nightmares, just like the dregs of society.
I think that's an instance where I would just copy the contract address and use the contract address as its name. That is its full government name. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like this is just a faker. So anyway, so that's my example. And I do see we have some questions and folks wanting us to look at a couple of things. The most recent question I see, Alex, is somebody just asked your resonance. Our friend asked, how did you find it? And I'll just say again, I'm following the playbook that we have been setting out all week to keep yourself safe in the meme coin casino. Number one, I go to DEX Screener or DEX Tools. And I'll show you one more time the setting. I'm going to try not to show you the name of this token so we don't get banned from the live. I'm not looking at it. But if I go home to let me just go to dexscreener.com. Well, you're going to have to see it anyway because it's on the front page. Can you believe that? Alex, hang on. What am I doing?
What are we looking for?
I was just going to show people, maybe you can get there before I can, the trending chart. I just want to go to the homepage and show them for any given blockchain.
Oh,
Here's
just
where it is. It's okay. It's loading.
yeah.
So first, you're going to pick your network. I've been playing around in Solana because I've got this fancy new text-based bonk bot that is super fast, and Base because it's really new. And I want to do a video if blockchains were people, because if Base blockchain was a person, it would be like somebody who left Silicon Valley to go to Austin, Texas because they heard it was like the new cool thing, and also a bunch of like stoners. It's got a ton of memes and it's got a ton of like consumer crypto people who are, trying to build something cool.
It also really struggled yesterday.
Did it really? With
Oh yeah.
fees? Yeah, and activity. It's been busy. So okay, so this is once I choose my network, I've got base highlighted on Dex Screener. I can choose in the last 24 hours or a longer or shorter time frame to see what's been trending in the last 5 minutes, 1 hour, 6 hour, or 24 hours. And almost always, the first place I look is what's been trending in the last 5 minutes. And then just to check the age of something, I switch it to an hour. I look at some of these metrics right here to see which tokens I want to check out first. And because I've been spending a lot of time here, I know what's new and what's old. Remember, I'm looking for something new that I can pump and dump. I'm looking for something that's got a lot of attention, that's going to be on the front page, so to speak, that they're going to be advertising up here, one of these top 5 tokens, because that's going to have a lot of people's attention. It's going to have a lot more liquidity, a lot more volume, be more of a sure thing. And when you're dealing with a meme coin like that, while it could still rug, you don't have to do as much diligence. And it's all about time for me. I want to be in and out of the meme coin casino in 2 hours. You know what I mean? So that's how I find them. Alex, what are some others you add? I know we've talked a lot this week about the diligence you can perform with Soul Sniffer, Token Sniffer, looking at the contract other ways, but just at a glance, what are you thinking about?
At that exact moment, I was thinking about why aren't there a series of T-shirts that say "Please meme responsibly"?
Yeah,
Um,
that would be perfect.
I don't know, right? I mean, you mean just kind of in general right now?
Yeah. I think your residents asked, "How do you find these tokens?" And so I
Yeah.
was just
So
asking you quick. We've talked about it pretty exhaustively this week, and so our newsletter this week is definitely going to have some good rundowns. But maybe meme responsibly is one of them. I look for irresponsible memes because I know people are going to love it. I bought a token last night called Butt Man that had a Batman with a big butt chin.
so time out. Given what Evan just said, your resonance when you ask, this is a perfect timing to ask the question: do we read the white papers for these tokens?
No, bro. I
No,
think your
and
resonance is trolling. Your
no, no,
resonance
no.
is a
I
crypto
know,
native like
I
us.
know. It was just a beautifully timed comment that there was just a question that, like, to someone looking at it at first glance might be like, oh yeah, let's hear about the white papers. And then Evan goes, I bought something called Buttman, and it was just like, so first of all, these things do not have white papers, right?
No.
They are pure and utter trash. They are garbage. Should there be the toilet paper for Buttman? Absolutely, right? Like the meme potential for these things is never ending. So in answer to the question, how do you find these things? There are so many. Like one thing that DEX Screener does not do, that DEX Tools does a really good job of, is tracking the real-time upload of new contracts to a network, so you can like watch them roll in. So like if you go to DEX Tools and you just go to new pairs, which is one of the links on the side.
This is honestly how our adventures on the show in the memecoin casino started. It's right there.
You can pop up, and just watch them. And I mean, one of these memes or junk, garbage trash projects is launched every 1 to 2 minutes, sometimes faster, but a good average pace is 1 a minute. Okay. And that has been consistent for weeks. So right now you kind of have to, just like in the broader crypto space, the meme community is a microcosm for how the broader crypto space works. Here,
here, I got it, Alex. You keep talking. I see it. I'm responding.
So it's a microcosm for the broader crypto space. And what I mean by that is that in the big crypto space, there are narratives that trend, and the projects within that narrative trend up, regardless of how likely they are to succeed, regardless of utility, regardless of whatever. Basically, just success by association. When AI was trending, anything that slapped the AI buzzword in their Twitter bio was likely to rip. For no reason. None of it means anything. It's just how the narrative was trending. Gaming is a narrative that will probably have its time in the sun. Metaverse was a big thing last time, right? I'm sure if you guys were here last bull cycle, was it 2 and change 3 years ago now? You remember when everything with Metaverse slapped in the Twitter bio, ripped for no reason. Because they were all going to launch a Metaverse, and then, go figure, either none of them did, or they did a Metaverse thing and nobody cared. So the narrative determines what's going to run. So you have to be tuned into the narrative. So for example, when the Elizabeth Warren meme came out, it started a trend, right? And then you had kind of that wonky spelling of lots of major politicians. And then it transcended to CEOs and other just, iconic figures, right? There's Sam Altman's, there was Bryn Armstrong. That was a trend, right? I forget, there was a name for the trend. I can't remember what it was. It ripped like crazy. Right now on Solana, interestingly, which is evidenced by the fact that media is trending as number one, up 24,000% in 24 hours. It is.
Oh, that's interesting. They removed my token. My token, my big profit token, was number one until about a minute ago.
Yeah, man, it's a matter of time. It's number 6 right now.
Interesting.
But
I think it's because everyone's tanking the price.
Which is funny because number 5, Smol, just rugged.
Yeah, they can rug it anytime. Absolutely.
Yeah. We just watched a rug happen in real time. But what was I? Oh, so right now, one of the trending narratives on Solana, at least, are these utility projects, and I'll put utility in quotes because the utility itself is not important when we're talking about these things. I think there are some that will actually do something pretty cool. There are some that have, like a legitimate plan, a legitimate project. Whether it is successful or not, who fucking knows? Nobody knows. Yeah. So that's definitely a trend. There's always the potential for something that's just, so I've talked about my wine bottle theory before.
Yeah. Yeah.
That holds with this too. If you go, let's just take a look. Let me see if I can find an example here. Let's look at Avalanche. Someone was asking about Avalanche, so I can do this and then segue into the Avalanche one that they were asking about.
And can I say something real quick to Machiste, who I love, just about base? because they disagree with my categorization of Base, and I wonder if you're about to say the same thing about Solana. Don't get it twisted. Base is one of the most exciting projects happening right now. Backed by Coinbase, tremendous amount of attention from people who are real builders. Jesse Pollock, employee number one. When I say that they're like crypto indie darlings who've left Silicon Valley and moved to Austin, Texas, what I mean is Jesse Pollock is Coinbase employee who is now like fucking around with city coins and wants to, help people use like consumer crypto products that have real utility, but that it's also a confluence of projects like EarnFi that sells you a promise of a really cool utility, but has a business model that kind of competes with that and will probably outdo it. It will make a ton of money. I don't think it's going to fulfill its promise. And then there are memes, and that's like, is that what you is that was that right? Is that where you kind of see on Solana is like those buckets? I don't know about all the crypto darling buckets, but I definitely see utility projects that will
Mm-hmm.
probably make money and don't deliver, and memes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Avalanche is actually a really bad example because a lot of these are really like aesthetically pleasing, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I'm looking at the list for the first time, because I'm sitting here and I've got some capital and I'm like, all right, it's time to place your bets. I'm gonna go to something and I'm gonna just scan down the list. This one's tough because a lot of these are like clean, and what I mean by that is they're not like, dude, this is so hard to describe actually while trying to make it sound educational. Um, oh, okay. Here's a great example. So see number 13 right there, how it just says number go up tech. Like that doesn't roll
Mm-hmm.
off the tongue. You
Yeah.
know, that thumbnail, I can't tell what that is. Um, that one I have zero faith in, and it that one doesn't scream funny meme to me. So, but if I'm looking up here and I see like just straight up Kong, like
Yeah.
that one is easy to shill on social media. It's hard to confuse. The little logo just sticks right out.
Yeah.
It could be hilarious. I'm just saying, like, at first glance, and then I looked at the market cap and I'm like, well, clearly the market disagrees with my assessment because the market cap is almost 20 million. But like, let's see.
Yeah. Tech is one, and then there was another one on Avex that I think had a name like that I was like, I didn't get the meme.
Yeah.
Um, and I agree, it's not good to just buy based on the name, but sometimes you see it and you just know. Especially like if the chart is listed. I don't need to go to socials. When I'm in touch with what the memes on the ground are. Like when I saw Base Chad and I saw where it was performing, I was like, obviously, that's going to be a huge meme on Coinbase. And if it isn't, or on Base, and if it isn't, it's young enough that I'm going to make my money while there's attention, and I'm not going to be tied to the bag. I'm just going to go.
Now that's a chart.
That's a candle's what it is. Oh my gosh. Someone said burn it to the ground. Where even is it?
Now that's a chart. So it launched, it dumped 100%, and now it's flat. What's interesting is that there is still recorded, maybe it just hasn't caught up yet. It's still recorded as like a 250,000 in liquidity and a
Huh.
massive market cap despite being down 100%.
Very interesting. Alex, will you go over there and look at AVAX has no chill? Bill mentioned it in the comments, and
Yep.
I got some probably what was it like I don't know a week and a half ago when Joe was talking about it, and Joe is our the guide in our Discord community, our trusted friend at Faceless Labs, one of the architects, and he's big in AVAX. And I bought some when he talked about it, and this is like I don't know. I can't see what some of the numbers are, Alex. It's mostly waffling around, right? That's not my
Yeah.
chart.
It's very,
I feel like this token is too late in terms of could it be the next Pepe and go to a big market cap? Possibly. I think some people are expecting that. But at this time, like I don't want to pay enough attention to capitalize on those swing trades. And what are we swinging between? Like what's the bottom and top that I'm seeing there? Like how much percentage change? Like 30%? Or is it more
um,
system?
the bottom of this range is like 16 cents, and the top of it is like 27. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a, or I'm sorry, 1.7 cents to 3.1 cents.
Okay, so you could make a 2x going up and down and up and down and up and down kind of thing. Um, maybe, but I don't know. I'm interested in those charts that are doing and nobody's got there yet when I'm talking about memes. Because I just don't like paying that much attention, you know?
Yeah, no, it's so there. I mean, there's different categories, right? There's the memes that, dude, this little janky tripod is so bad.
Only memes only.
Let me come back here. Hang on.
Yeah, you're good. I like that little skull, man. He's cute.
Mac and Amber got that for me.
That's nice.
It was come on, there we go. Token from their, I think when they went to Mexico City.
That's cool.
There's categories in these things, right? So like Evan was just saying, you have this big one. So like No Chill is, on the smaller end of the big ones, but it's got a $38 million market cap. So it's not an insignificant sum of money.
Right.
And if you look at, let's see, what's sticking on Avalanche, right? Like the big ones, the Rooster Project, 300 million.
I appreciate your name for it. The Rooster Project.
Joe Token, 430 million. Whatever XAVA is, Zava, 200 million. So these are
what I would call established, at that point.
The risks are a little bit mitigated on these.
Yeah.
Will you make money? No, it's not a guarantee at all. Will it dump? Yeah, it could totally, absolutely crater. Is it probably going to rug? Less likely. But something doesn't need to rug to fail and crash and just like trend down. And actually, again, speaking from personal experience, I have lost more money because of this phenomenon in crypto than anything else. When something crashes really aggressively, that's way less likely to result in like the long-term loss of all of your money, because typically then, like crashes really aggressively, someone's going to snap that. Maybe you can catch a little bit and get out, right? But like that's an indication like, oh, we're done with this. Then there's the one that just like makes a really good all-time high, and then you like get in just like a little bit too late or whatever, and then it just starts to kind of slowly drip and trend down because people are losing interest and selling their position, and a lot of them are in profit and they're moving on to things that are ripping more likely and blah blah blah. And then the thing just never really recovers. It just goes really slowly over the course of 6 months, just down and down and down and down. And you keep looking at that chart and you keep thinking to yourself, oh, well, it's gonna pump up like a little bit and then I'll get out. And it never does. Or like, oh, well, man, I had a 3x last week and now it's down to only a 2x. That feels bad. Maybe it'll go back to the 3.
I get stuck in those a lot.
Yep. You throw the 2x away and all of a sudden it's just 1. And then all of a sudden you're underwater. And then, before you know it, the thing has just really lightly and slowly placed you on the floor and you have nothing.
Can I make a distinction between that one and like, so somebody mentioned DGen in the comments. They like the chart. And I think it is like it's a great looking chart for somebody who bought in, even there. Here or here. That's a great looking chart. But when you zoom in, and this is a day chart. These are the last 2 days. So this is an established token launched on the 7th of January. It's got $100 million in market cap. From here 2 days ago to here, it's only done a 2x. Like that's what we're talking about. This is a 2x. But the likelihood that it goes on to do another 2x now that it's at this market cap, it's going to take so much more volume, so much more attention. Do I really think it's likely that $100 million more dollars are going to pour into this to make it go up 2 times for someone like me who's going to get in right now? Absolutely not. And the likelihood that if it goes down from here big time, everybody takes their profits, that it's going to come back up again is also low. If I see a chart like this, I'd like it to be an hour old. Because like Alex says, maybe it starts to come down, but it's a lot more likely that it goes back up in terms of a bigger number when the market cap is 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't feel bad about that, especially in a context where, if you got rules and you are spreading your bets and you're doing your diligence, whatever, you can afford to lose on a couple of them. Um, and this is just a weird season, Alex. We've talked about this. You can't, I think, always come to the meme coin casino and find things that are this fun, or helpful. Did you see Bill's comment about base Pepe?
Yep. So
Have
that
you
was
seen
that
that
was
one?
one of those. We looked at that one pretty extensively yesterday. I know that it was.
Oh, we did? I forgot.
Yeah. Well, that's one that Alex Costa made a video about. He called that one a while ago, and I looked at it, and then I decided to not do it, and I don't regret that decision.
Yeah, I would say, it looks to me like one of those. What did we say yesterday? Was I too busy trying to execute?
You might have been in the weeds.
I might have been in the weeds. I'm not in the weeds today, so I got my head in the game, so to speak. Um, you know, this is one where I might actually, buy in. Base Pepe, the name of the meme. It's got room to grow. The market cap is much smaller. I don't know. Is it trending up or down? It's not even on the trending though. I don't like that.
Yeah. Which I mean, but
That
that's
doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
no.
But it means I'm probably going to have to hold it longer. I'm probably going to have to walk away from my computer and maybe even go to sleep between the time I buy it and the time I take profits on it. Or I'm going to have to be sitting here watching it move 20 cents, 20 cents, 20 cents, 20 cents, and I'll be chained to it forever, which may be something you like to do. Some traders like to trade like that. I don't. I really don't. To me, that's not fun.
Well, it's like Mo just said. It's not necessarily that it's an unhealthy habit, but that's what's required if you want to even the odds out. But also too, hang on, sorry.
Lisa, I'm up. I'm up big. I made 686% profit. 860. I don't have the number. It's 668%. That's what it is. So your advice was good. I just slept on it and came back to it, and it was exploded. So we realized our profits. So it was a good night at the casino. We hit our goal.
There you
Thanks
go.
for asking.
Your residents had a question earlier with regards to launching a meme and why is
Yeah.
it hard to do it either legally or not immediately getting drained. So
Good questions.
launching these things, Phoebe, hey,
Baby girl, what you doing?
chewing on her feet.
Oh, sweet saggins.
So what I mean by that is when you go to launch these things, you need to do a couple things, right? You need to market it. Marketing a cryptocurrency in the United States is next to impossible. It's really, really hard. If you ever make an allusion to the fact that you think or you imply that the price could increase, you just broke the law. That's a crime, unless you're licensed to do that. And no one is. Not a single person launching these things is licensed to do that. So there's number one. You can't advertise it. You'll notice that the people advertising these things are all anonymous. And that's by design. Two, even if you are not in the United States and you do this somewhere else, if an American citizen is able to purchase your thing, the SEC has jurisdiction over you, no matter what country you live in, no matter where in the world you are, no matter if you're an American citizen or not. The SEC has jurisdiction over you. Two, you, the owner, cannot keep any of the supply. So you have to relinquish all of your hold and control over it. If you allocate yourself any tokens and then put the rest out there for the market, let them, do the think classic like meme tactics, rug tactics, whatever. Obviously, that's illegal.
Yeah.
If Evan and I were to launch one and actually try to make it do meme things, beyond just what we've decided to do, which is just to create the thing and have it exist for a social experiment and really never talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, you really are dancing on the edge of a knife. And then two, if you were to provide your own liquidity and back the thing yourself, and you're not just loaded, putting in a bunch, you're just going to get drained immediately. Like you're gonna, because the only way to fair launch these things, to like legally launch these things, is to do some sort of an airdrop to get initial supply out. Whatever that looks like to you. Send it. Pick another meme and like reward everyone who's holding peanut. Like, okay, we're gonna fair launch our thing by airdropping 10% of the supply to current holders of peanut.
Yeah, I got airdropped recently a Bozo token like that.
Yeah. So like Crypto Moo just said, there are steps you would need to take to ensure that you don't just immediately get bot drained, because that's another thing that happens if you go and you watch DEX tools. Launch new projects. A not insignificant portion of them launch, and then within 5 minutes, whatever starting liquidity was in there is gone because they got bot drained immediately. No one locked them, all that good stuff. So it's just actually like a tremendous amount of work, and you just have to be really careful. And ultimately, I don't know that it's worth it, because it's kind of illegal for you to make money doing it, and it's pretty unethical at the end of the day. Machiste, just the
yeah, you're really making money because other people are losing it.
Are you back?
I'm back. What were we saying to Machiste? I heard everything.
Yeah, Machiste asked how a bot drain works. Basically, Daniel would be a much better person to answer that question specifically. All I really know about it is that if you launch, and like Moo said, without properly locking liquidity and renouncing contracts and all of that good stuff, the bot accounts are just going to find like fresh thing. They're going to do the thing where they buy some of it, get a couple initial pumpers to come in and dump their liquidity in, and then they'll just sell a giant bag and walk away. So like you can get rugged by someone.
Yeah, and I think there's some price manipulation too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex. You
it's easier to manipulate that stuff when there's 5 people trading something. You know what I mean? So it's just very risky and hard and mostly illegal and a problem and unethical and all that good stuff. So ultimately, not.
We had a question. We had a question in the chat. We've had a lot of really great chatter. Okay, even though the quality of our conversation is probably lower than usual because I'm rugged and we're talking about my terrible meme tokens. This is a great chat. To the person who sent a message on Coinbase wallet to receive any crypto at all, Coinbase has official wallets. First of all, they almost certainly are not going to do that to you. They're going to announce it from their main website. They have done crypto giveaways where you can do a thing to earn some crypto. Here's your chance at a share of a Bitcoin or whatever. It's going to be on their official website. It's never going to be airdropped to your wallet like that. Maybe in the future. Don't interact with that. And also, be skeptical. Anytime anybody anywhere tells you there's free crypto, always double check it. Don't interact with that. Alex, I don't know how you do it, but when I keep track of my trades, someone asked about this. How do you keep track of your trades? I would say the answer is really do what works for you. I grabbed a spare notebook. I tend to just rely on exchanges that are going to capture it for me. And then because I don't trade a ton, it's easy for me to just get a CSV from them and remember, oh, that time I sold eGold, I was doing this. But now that we're doing meme coins and we're making a lot of trades in a short amount of time, I write down on a fresh page each session what token I bought. I write the amount, and I like to write the amount in dollars and the amount in whatever the native currency is, like SOL. So I might put like $34, 0.19 SOL. And then I will say how many tokens I got with that. So 10,000 tokens. I will say, based on that, what the price was. And I can double check all this from the Blockchain Explorer. And then I write down personally a target. What's my target price? I bought this token. It was 2 cents. So my target is 6 cents. That's what I'm looking at to totally, get out. I'm trying to double it and double it kind of thing. 3x. That's what I write. And then when I sell it, A lot of the time, I just do the same thing, and sometimes I'll make like a little arrow down connecting the two of them so I can see. If I wanted to get more sophisticated, I might use a highlighter to indicate when I sold something, but still like had a moon bag. I use a little check to indicate if when I sold it, I hit my profit target. I write a
Mhm.
little X if I didn't. And if it's a big win, I'll put like three checks. Like on this 668% profit, I'll put three checks. And sometimes on this other page right here, I will write notes for myself. I will say, today I invested in these three tokens, like a gardening journal. I invested in these three tokens. It was kind of a slow day. I didn't make anything, kept one overnight. It was a big winner kind of thing. What did I learn? Takeaways. But do what
Yeah,
works for you.
I do the exact same thing. I keep a log on paper, and I just write like a page for every single one, and then when I've completely exited something, or I'm just letting a little bag of pure profit ride, then I stop paying attention to it. Um, and the vast majority of those, they go to zero. But mostly, yeah, just keep track of it. Keep track of it on paper. I'll write down purchase. Like Evan said, I'll write down the purchase price in Sol and USD, and then keep like a running tally of how much total of the native currency or the purchasing currency, if it's Sol or if it's ETH or whatever, I have going into something, and then I will also like pull out and extrapolate my cost basis and keep that running as an update. So if I
Yeah.
buy in at 1 cent and then I do another entry at 2 cents, and then another entry at half a cent because it dropped or whatever, then I'll average all of that stuff and just sort of an analysis of the cost basis in case it turns into something serious, because then there's a tax implication. And it's better to have the info and not need it than need it and not have it. So it's a little annoying. You can go back and figure it out. So like, inside of your Phantom, you can obviously pull up a list of total transactions and you'll have an exact time. So you could go back to the chart separated by the minute and find the exact price and time that you did something just based on that. So that's kind of the nice part about blockchain. If you already didn't do it and you're like, shit, I didn't keep track of this, whatever, it's more annoying to have to go back and do it, but you can easily do it. It's just tedious work. So
Yeah, and
easy.
Angel was saying you can use GPT to give you a tutorial on this. Do you remember what he called them? It was pivot tables and it was V something that you
VLOOKUP.
can use. V lookup.
Yep.
It's a spreadsheet function so that if you have like the one set of data, here are the tokens I bought, and then you have the other set of data, just a ton of transactions on the blockchain from like March to April, you can use a VLOOKUP between the two spreadsheets. I haven't tried this yet.
Me
It
neither.
sounds like it's something people in corporate America maybe do with Excel all the time,
Yep.
and that you can learn to do pretty easily. So take heart, my friends.
Yep.
Wow. Oh my God. The token I bought into has sparked a bunch of racially insensitive memes, and
Yep.
it has totally fallen off of the. I don't know how I feel about it. We're so wild here.
It's
Um,
yep. It's
Alex, I see the chat has moved on from this, but I want to ask you this question because my answer is KuCoin, and I can't show KuCoin on the live because I can't use my phone and I have to use the VPN. But the Good Crust, our friend asked, is there a good trading automation where I can set my own parameters? I figured out my strategy. And I would say there are limit orders on a variety of platforms, but if what you want is like a bot that will just kind of keep going over time according to what you set, KuCoin is really the only one that I personally have experience with that I like and would recommend to somebody else. I don't have a lot of experience with that. Do you?
I do not.
Or-
No.
Yeah.
What's funny is even after all of these years and like looking at different tools and stuff like that, I've never done enough consistent trade action to require something like that, or to go beyond literally just me sitting here on a DEX raw dogging trades by manually doing every single one of them. I've never felt a need to like kick it up a notch and go into anything else. For better or for worse. But I guess what I'm doing is working for me, so I have just kept it here.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Apparently, the chat is saying with BonkBot and Flux on Telegram, you can set limit orders. I actually haven't found that feature yet, which I love. I found a bunch of new features yesterday,
Hmm.
um, so I'm gonna have to check that out. I frankly would use that all the time. I think that would be really fun. Um, Alex, have you gotten alerts to work on DEX Screener? I never know how to make alerts work. Let's try
Yeah.
this.
So let's see here.
Oh, and look, it's our favorite question. Somebody asked, I have $5,000. What would you recommend? What are your choices to invest?
Um,
What do you think, Alex?
I couldn't possibly tell you where to put your money because that is completely up to you. And I'm not a financial advisor, and I have no idea what the markets are going to do. And I don't know what's going to be successful, and I don't know what's going to fail. If I did, I would be ludicrously wealthy, and I may not be on this live right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say to you that if you're just like curious what I personally would invest in, I'm glad to tell you, but you absolutely should not go out and buy it. And the number one reason is because if you I'm sorry, I just saw a token called Pepe PP and he's got a very little like appendage and it's
Yep.
so sorry.
I can say confidently that that checks out.
Yeah. If you've got if you've got somebody that you're going to for that, then you're going to need them to know when to sell it. You're going to need them to know what to buy next, and better than anything I could tell you is going to be figuring out how to buy it, where to buy it, what you like, what you don't. Try it, break it. Learn from people's experience. I'm glad to tell you what I bought with my first $5,000 because it really doesn't apply. I'm glad to tell you what I might buy, or what I am buying, what I'm doing right now.
Mhm.
But if you've got $5,000 to invest, the best thing you can do is tune into this show Monday through Thursday or whenever you have time. Sign up for the free newsletter. It comes once a week and be involved in a community like this one. If not this one, a community like it. Alex and I and all our friends here have worked really hard to make this a place where anybody can ask any question. Nobody's going to try and sell you anything unless it's a, rise up morning show coffee mug kind of situation. And we can all learn and grow together. You're going to be interested in DeFi. Machiste is going to be out there on base, figuring things out on Warpcast. People are going to kind of bring back to the community what they learn. We're all going to be better for it, no matter what we choose to invest in. That's the secret sauce. So that's my commercial. If you haven't yet, please do. Please do sign up for the newsletter today. It's at the link in both our bios. We're going to send it tomorrow. And
Yep.
we've already got some great notes for it. Notes from our conversation with Angel, the CPA. We're going to have notes from our overview of decentralized, centralized exchanges. Definitely more notes from the memecoin casino, links to all these tools. And I'm going to put my referral code I'll tell you, I haven't done a commercial for it yet, really, on our show. Not sponsored, but it could be. I got a referral code for this new service I found, River.
There you
It's
go.
new to me because I don't use it. But River is a Bitcoin only exchange that has the lowest recurring buy fees I have found. $0 on recurring buys for Bitcoin. So if while you're playing in the meme coin casino, you're like, I should roll some of these profits into maybe Bitcoin, for example. I want a dollar cost average in, I want to set it and forget it. It's the best solution I've found. And they have a super clean, super easy website. And I put the referral code, I think it's in my bio. You can check it out. We both get free Bitcoin if you spend money there. But stuff like that, that's in our newsletter. And you
Yeah.
don't have to tune into the show every day to learn from that. So please do go sign up. And Alex, what do you got? What are your words of wisdom for it?
Just to be our brand here is like full frontal transparency, right? So with the newsletter, Evan and I are really trying to monetize our efforts through the show. And the preferred method to monetize is to collect money from the people who have it more than your viewers. So, like, rather than charging your viewers money for something, the ideal way is to get a lot of attention, get traction, show that you have an audience, and then get some large company to give us money instead. of asking for it from you guys. So for a newsletter, for example, a newsletter is something that can easily be sponsored. You can take a newsletter that gets this many readers per week and is growing at approximately this rate and send that to companies and be like, hey, sponsor the newsletter, offer something to our viewers as some sort of incentive to get involved with whatever the brand is, discount code, a free this, something like that. And then, pay us X amount and we'll run the promo for you. We'll feature you, yada, yada, yada. So that's really the goal there. So the more that you guys get involved, one, lets us know that something within all of this resonates with you. Your feedback helps us make the newsletter better and make it appeal to more people. If there's something you would like to see added to it, something that you wish was featured every single week, let us know. It just started. Last week was the first one.
You're early.
Yeah, you are super early. So there is so much room to grow and evolve this thing. And you guys who are here and, making it successful and stuff from the launch are the important people in the equation. So let us know what you would like to see in it, and we will continually evolve it and tweak it and get it just right.
What did you want to cover? I saw your comment here. We'll cover.
Yes. I wanted to cover, someone asked about the SEC's declared Ethereum thing. So I wanted to touch on it briefly because there
is some good news, honestly, happening this week outside of the casino. When you walk out of a casino and you see the daylight, you're like, wow, I forgot it was Tuesday.
Yeah. So thank you for bringing us back to reality for a minute to talk about something impactful.
Can I really quick say one last thing on the subject of how much your residents just curious how much personally we are investing in this kind of thing? And that is a good question. And I will tell you just as a guideline, because the answer is no more than you can afford to lose. For me, entrepreneurship, crypto trading, all those things, they are games. And they are games that while you are learning, you play for free. Follow your own advice, Evan. Play the game for free, learn the tools, use the tools. The second, you play small games, play $5 games. And then gradually, whether you're an entrepreneur looking to make money doing a thing, mowing lawns, selling on Facebook Marketplace, or trading meme coins, play bigger games. And play bigger games when you can afford to. Right now, for me, I have the crypto assets that I can afford to come here and spend $100 on 5 or 6 different projects and make $100, and then I'll have $200. If I come back and do this enough, I'm going to stop playing a $100 game. I'll start playing a $200 game. And then I'll probably start playing a $500 game and maybe a $1,500 game where I do the same thing, but the game I'm playing is just growing in its ability to, generate returns for me. That's my short answer.
Yeah, I have nothing really to add to that. I'll say though that I got a question yesterday on one of my videos that someone said, even though I'm only doing what they quantified as a small amount of money, I'm still really stressed out and I'm nervous about it. And all I have to say is if you invest or put money or make the gamble or take the bet on a thing, and it's only $10 or it's only $50 or it's only $5 or it's only whatever you think you're okay with losing. Because like Evan said, that is 100% the approach that you need to have. You would not walk into a Las Vegas casino with your rent money.
No.
Like on your way to pay the rent and think like, yeah, I'm going to throw all of it on this one slot pull. Right? Because you can't afford to lose your entire rent check to that slot machine. And these are slot machines. So my response was just, look, dude, you may be telling me that you're okay with losing that money, but if you make the bet and then you're immediately stressed and super nervous about it, you can't afford to lose that. So don't do it. Yeah. It's just simply not worth it because the odds are not in your favor. They say all the time, and it's so I don't blame people at all because even to this day, if you scroll through social media, you will see 3 things. 1, you'll see people displaying their wins and not their losses.
Yeah, definitely.
Last week, I made a 10x on a base meme. And since then, I have placed 9 or 10 bets on other memes that made absolutely $0. They either lost a little bit and then I bounced with, you know, a small loss, or they completely dumped. And I lost the whole bag, or 80% of the bag. So like the odds are not good, you know. I've been so you'll see people displaying the wins, which gives a lot of people a false sense of security. They're like, oh, it's easy. All of these memes are ripping. I can just throw $100 into a meme and I'm going to make a 2x. Not the case. They'll display the one that they got lucky on and forget the rest of it. 2, then you'll see people who complain about that thing, the fact that everyone's only displaying their wins, while also then themselves not displaying their losses. And then you'll see people taking the bait and taking it, you know, taking it too far or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's easy to say only bet what you're comfortable losing, but seriously, like, ask yourself, take a look at the money that you are thinking about putting onto one of these things and ask yourself, would I be cool literally lighting this on fire? Because that's essentially what you're suggesting that you do. You need to be okay with that. And if you can't afford to lose that money, you should not put it on a meme coin, because the odds are not good at all.
Uh-huh. And the other thing is, if you feel like it's not a small amount of money, that sounds like somebody else's idea filtered through your mind, coming out as judgment. Not to get too woo-woo about it, but it almost sounds like you're saying, I shouldn't be worried. It's just a small amount of money.
No.
But if you are worried about it, it's don't judge that. Listen to that.
Dude, I can't even tell you how many times I've like seen a thing that I was like, yeah, I would like to get a little bit of exposure to this. It might do a 2x. And then thinking to myself, like, oh, well, I don't want to put $5,000 in it. So if I put, you know, $100 in it and it only makes me $100, is that going to change my life? And I say no, and then I don't do it. Or, you know, the inverse of that. And all of those, I mean, you know, money is money. I say it all the time. I will say it as long as I have the strength to say it. If you buy into any of these things and you walk away with as much as you put in or any amount more, you won. So win is a win. Don't let someone who can afford to put 10 grand into something and happen to find a 3x and walked away 20 grand richer, you know, forget to look at, you know, it's a great example of this, Evan. There was a casino in the nearby where I went to undergrad. Okay. And I went in there one time, and there's a winner's wall, and it's just pictures of people who have pulled the jackpot. Not a single one of those people were smiling, and I was just like, this is so weird. You know, like, this is a woman who's standing here with a check in her hand for $180,000 that she just won on a jackpot, and she looks like someone just ran over her dog. And then you remind yourself that that person, how much money did that person spend over how many years to get to that? You know, maybe they already over leveraged the house and this wasn't enough to cover it, or, you know, whatever, right? Because gambling is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. You can totally have fun doing it, and you can totally treat it like a game. And you can totally take $10 and throw it in, and maybe that 10 will turn into 50, or maybe that 10 will turn into 0. You know, and we can move on. It's
well,
really good question.
Well met and well said.
You absolutely have to be okay with never seeing the money that you put into it again.
India Lady says, I agree. Sometimes I just YOLO.
Yep.
And do your own research says kind of what Magic Internet Money said. You can't have conviction on meme coins. So there's no logical reason to bet big. Meaning, like, there's just not enough data. You can't do technical analysis on it.
Yes.
I was saying that last night. I sounded hopium-ish. I was like, oh, it could go up. I'm looking at this. It could go up. I was like, I sound like somebody who's talking to his investments and, like, you know, like a racehorse. That's usually a sign to me like, nah, man, you're good.
We've come up with like 3 shirts so far today in the meme land. Like, I absolutely want to please meme responsibly with like the Dos Equis guy. And then I absolutely what was, oh my god, it just fell right out of my head. What did you just say? Oh,
I said,
yeah, you said there's no data. You couldn't possibly make like a logically quantified decision based on, you know, historical data from looking at a coin called Pepe's Peepee. You know, there's no way that you're technically analyzing that chart. But it's true. There's no data, there's no analysis. It's just vibes. No data, just vibes. That's literally the meme mantra. You're trading vibes, and sometimes the vibe changes real quick. And if you're not paying attention, you miss it. You catch the next one.
Yeah, it sure does. Alex, I know we're moving on to this Ethereum story, but I have to tell you, remind me to tell you about the stream I was consuming some content the other day that I just hated, that I thought was so terrible, and I wanted to tell you about it, and I forgot to.
Oh yeah, Evan.
Because somebody's asking about thoughts on ETH, and I think we should tell him.
Yeah, we can commiserate on terrible crypto content later, because I totally agree. I don't even know.
We're gonna be sitting on our lawns, old men, years from now, and that'll be what we do. It'll be great.
Yeah. Okay. So ETH.
ETH.
Real quick, what happened? The SEC has decided that they are investigating Ethereum, and let me pull up the actual announcement, or the headline breaking or whatever, because when you really dissect this, it's kind of funny. First of all, the SEC has such a garbage reputation. Like I am more confident in Pepe's PP than I am in the SEC to, succeed. And I have no confidence in Pepe. It's just, good news, right? Sounds like an XRP move, right? Yeah. So what happened last time? Let's put this into perspective really quickly.
Okay.
The last time the SEC went after a major crypto institution, it was exactly that. It was a company. There was a company for them to go after, Ripple. And they were trying to prove that Ripple illegally launched and ran a security sale. They failed to do so. It's been years. They have not been able to prove otherwise. And Ripple has absolutely decimated that trash agency. Okay. Now, fast forward, and they're like, so the SEC takes that data that they have accumulated over years of not being able to successfully prove that Ripple did this, and they're like, let's go after Ethereum instead. Who are we suing? Fucking nobody, because there is not a company running Ethereum. I mean, there isn't. There are large companies. You could make the argument that
you could argue it's the Ethereum Foundation.
There is the Ethereum Foundation. You could easily make the argument, and I would be inclined to agree with most of it, that Ethereum is not very decentralized just because of their infrastructure hosting and how many people own how much of it and how many influential people there are in the space that could control the price by simply talking about it. If Vitalik came out yesterday or tomorrow and said that he messed up, Ethereum is critically flawed, it's horrible, whatever. I mean, the price is not going to like that, right? The market is going to react to that.
Of course.
However, when it comes down to the SEC being able to legally go after something or legitimately file, or press charges against or whatever, the only option they would have would be either Vitalik personally, which would never hold, or the Ethereum Foundation, which if we go pull up exactly, who the Ethereum Foundation is, and exactly what they do. This is such a nothing burger in the crypto space that it's not even a trending story in the last 24 hours on Crypto Panic. Okay, that's how little anyone gives a shit about what the SEC is investigating. And that's not to minimize it. That's not to say that it's absolutely a nothing. Theoretically, could it turn into something? Sure. But one, the SEC investigates everybody. It means nothing to be under investigation in crypto. The entire industry is under investigation constantly. The SEC has almost never succeeded, except for some very isolated, very specific incidents that, a third grader could have prosecuted. Like the ice cream swap, whatever, rug pull that was two known individuals who stole people's money. That's an easy one. I don't know. I saw the headline and I was like, huh. And I scrolled immediately. And years ago, that would have rocked my world to read that and be like, oh no, it's over. But I couldn't be less worried about Ethereum as a whole. I'm worried about Ethereum for other reasons, and absolutely none of those reasons have anything to do with Gary Gensler.
No. Yeah, they're about to undergo. Did they undergo the Denkun upgrade? Has it happened?
Successfully, yes.
See, like that's a bigger. I'm
Way
much more
bigger.
worried about that going off well
Yeah.
than yeah. What's the SEC going to do?
Do you
I
want
mean,
to give a quick highlight of what that is? I'll pull up.
yes, and honestly, I'm really not equipped to except to say that, like all of its major upgrades, Shanghai, whatever, it's going to increase the efficiency of Ethereum by making it easier for layer twos on top of it to bundle and batch transactions. I was explaining this to someone last night. The way something like Base, a layer two works, and I'm hoping you'll come in with the assist and give me the specifics, is they are on top of Ethereum, but if the gas on ETH is like $27 a transaction. What we're going to do on Base on top of it is we're going to collect 100 transactions on our chain and submit them all in one to Ethereum so that all 100 of us are sharing that cost of $27, and now we're paying 2 cents because we've rolled them up one way or another, cryptographically secured them, cheaply, quickly transferred them, the same way that it's easier for a small road to take you to the highway than it is for the highway to go by everybody's house. You know, the traffic would be terrible. There'd be roads everywhere. You get the security of Ethereum, which is the base layer underneath, the finality of Ethereum, and all the benefits of something quicker, cheaper on top of it. That's my understanding. Is Dencun just accelerated their ability to do that kind of scaling? I don't know how technically. You got any
Yeah.
dudes?
I have nothing to add to that. That was my understanding. After I saw a little bit more about it yesterday, I have a couple tabs that are open that I'm planning on reading about today, and I figured we could put a quick. We'll put a single stanza update in the newsletter for this week, just about what it is, because it is a significant thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're interested, you can Google Dencun, DENCUNEIP 4844. I'll put that in the chat right here, and this will tell you everything you need to know about it.
Yeah, maybe we can do like a quick timeline. We can do a sentence and then do like a quick little timeline of like significant upgrades in Ethereum's history. Might be kind of just a cool
Yeah.
2 sentence blurb.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the biggest one that comes to mind is when they switched over to proof of stake from proof of
Oh,
work.
absolutely.
Somebody articulately compared that to changing the engine of a car from gasoline to electric while the vehicle is running.
Yes.
In motion. And I think that was really an elegant way to sum up the difficulty and complexity. They're doing stuff that's never been done before, and it has a lot of consequence,
Yep.
and doing it well.
You know, so I have two like conflicting opinions on it, because that is super impressive, and I don't ever want to say anything to like minimize how impressive that is, that the entire Ethereum network can be like upgraded
Mm-hmm.
while running without people losing their shirts. And it's pretty easy to look at like the end result of an upgrade like that and then say to yourself like, oh, okay, well, there's like 17,000 other blockchains that are already doing whatever that is more efficiently than whatever Ethereum just upgraded to. So at the end of the day, like, how monumental is that upgrade? And because I agree, like it's bull market time. I don't use Ethereum unless I absolutely have to move something, because the gas is just simply not worth it. I can pay a fraction of a penny on Multiverse X. I can pay a fraction of a penny on Solana. I can pay 1 or 2 pennies on Base. Avalanche gas is not phenomenal, but it's way better than Ethereum. So while I do agree that there are more efficient chains, at the end of the day, a tremendous amount of stuff still uses Ethereum. New things are being launched on Ethereum regularly. Large institutions are looking at Ethereum for this, that, and the other thing because it is established. It's been around longer. They feel more secure about it. It's less risky to be involved with it, despite it being really expensive. It becomes a cost profit analysis that the company's going to do, and they're going to do whatever they think is going to make them the most money, generally. No one's talking about filing a Solana ETF next. The next ETF that anyone serious is talking about is Ethereum. Some of these big institutions with the Bitcoin ETFs have already filed applications for Ethereum ETFs. At the end of the day, regardless of whether or not it's the best option, and again, I am standing here before you telling you that it is not the best option if you want to like be a user and use DEXs or use marketplaces or use DeFi or do whatever. because it's straight up not the best option. There are better options. It is still an absolute titan in the industry, whether we like it or not. So, again, just like I'm not an XRP holder and I'm not an XRP fan, but you bet your ass I was out there rooting for Ripple every single step of the way through that entire lawsuit because it was garbage and they should never have to deal with that. It hindered their progress, and even still they managed to progress the network and add stuff and drop the XRPL updates and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they still move forward. Ripple is a monster. So I'm excited for Ethereum to spank the SEC as well.
Although I will say, I am also excited for a friend of mine who I will not name here, who may or may not be watching, who told me the other day about some good advice he heard from our friend Mac about not being married to your bags. And he gave XRP as an example of finally, he had been seeing the writing on the wall. It hadn't been doing what his goals for it were. And he said to himself, okay, it's time to move my attention and my money into something that will. And he was up like a couple $1,000 afterwards, happily ever after. So
it's funny.
Big shout out to you, my friend.
I was talking to Mac yesterday or the day before, and he was commenting on watching our group chat with the memes and us going back and forth with the memes, and he said
degeneracy.
he said he felt like he definitely felt like he was out of his element with the meme, so he didn't even tangle, and he was like, I don't have the time, or that he's researching other stuff. If you follow Mac's content,
he'll be fine.
He's doing other things, he's working on other stuff, whatever. He didn't have time to get into the meme degeneracy. But the image that he gave me was that he was the dad talking about, like standing at the window while his kids were just like running or hitting each other with baseball bats in the front yard, but like having a really good time.
Yeah, with some New Balance shoes on.
Yeah. So he was, wearing his cargo khaki shorts, sipping his coffee at the window, watching me and Evan and Mihir hit each other with baseball bats, laughing maniacally while buying.
And Joe too, who's like a super dad.
Yeah.
A principal and a dad.
Stupidest cryptos ever. And that was a very funny visualization.
Alex, we got a really good question from somebody who asked, what do you think about NVIDIA, the advancement they made in AI? And especially, I think they're talking about this personal AI. Will that interfere with or impede the progress of blockchain? And my short answer is no, that they're going to work together. And I'm glad to give my take, but I wanted to hear what you thought about it. Do you have a take on this?
Sorry.
Take a second. I'm going to give my take and let you think about it because I see you're reading the chat too.
Yeah.
This is my take on, if you're concerned about it, I think it makes total sense to be concerned about it, but I am not that concerned about it. I think AI and blockchain will have a mutually beneficial reinforcing relationship where each will help the other to become what they can. In the future, where something like NVIDIA has given you the ability to make your own personal GPT that is going to learn about you and know all your private stuff and maybe is eventually going to talk with your doctor's office so you don't have to spend 10 minutes on the phone, or is maybe going to spend the money to book that beautiful Paris vacation that GPT helped you research. Right now, AI can have a conversation with you like that, but we don't have the rails to securely allow it to spend money on your behalf, share private data, personal data on your behalf. Encrypted stuff is not there yet. Blockchain, that's what it's all about, baby, is securely sharing with permission information, and being able to remove or grant permission at any time. So I think what's probably going to happen or have to happen soon is, I've been saying, local GPTs. A GPT that lives on your devices, that nobody else anywhere can like your private key, get access to without that key. And it will encrypt your GPT. And you'll have a public version that people can interact with and talk with, but only you will have that private key, which will encrypt and protect your GPT. It's going to have to. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to trust yours to know anything about you, or you're not going to be able to interact with other people through GPTs because you're not going to be able to trust that there's a human on the other end. You're going to have something, if not blockchain, something like it. But honestly, I can't think of what would be more perfect than private keys. signatures on a blockchain to prove that when our GPTs are talking, it's me and Alex on the other end, you know?
Mhm.
So I'm actually very excited for what NVIDIA is doing because I think that's good. It seems to be good progress. And even if they don't have a solution for that, their progress in this direction is going to underscore the need for that kind of solution, get more people talking about it. Because I don't think most people are talking about this that way. They're still in the, wow, GPT is so exciting, should I try it phase. We're a couple steps ahead of them in this conversation, you know. What do you think?
I would agree. I haven't spent quite as much time like sitting there and thinking about it. Um, the thing that I've always been, I guess, like hung up on or focused on is just the fear that a lot of people have that AI is coming to replace everyone and everything kind of idea.
To take our gerbs?
I just still firmly believe that the only people who are in danger of being replaced by AI are the ones who just don't learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, and that's at this stage. Technology can change, and I always like to make the comparison. We went from libraries to the internet in the span of about 15 years, and before then, like 20 years before that, could you even imagine having like a conversation where someone predicted exactly where the internet was going to end up because it was like the theoretical brainchild of like 3 or 4 nerds at the time, and Al Gore? No, you couldn't have made that prediction, and that's, I feel like, where we are with AI. We're just barely scratching the surface, and I'm not equipped enough to like have that conversation. I mean, shit,
Yeah.
my one of my parents' friends, who they've known for many years, has a PhD in what is essentially artificial intelligence, and even he's not, you know, gonna sit there and tell you exactly where the entire industry is going to go and blah blah blah. Um, so I don't know. I don't have a ton of super deep thoughts on it. I'm just very curious to watch where the space ends up. I use AI tools every single day. I love using them. They've made my life way easier, to be able to like automate and speed up, lots of like mundane little things. The other day I was making a resume specifically for CZ, from Binance's new educational gaming startup. And I didn't have to write really any of it. I put in my information, I filled out like a bunch of little questionnaires, and then it put it together beautifully for me. And I didn't like the format, so I got to pick from new templates, and it redid the whole thing. And then it wrote me a cover letter. And then I went back and forth and edited the cover letter using Gemini. And at the end of the day, I was like, hey, this doesn't really sound like my tone. Here's some examples of my writing. Can you write it to sound more like this? And blah, blah, blah. And, I don't want to focus on this, that, whatever the thing. And, they're really cool. I recommend you toe dip into them and mess around with them.
Is this Daniel, our friend Daniel, in the chat?
Where?
At the very bottom, somebody wrote something and signed it Daniel, and I wasn't sure. It's a new weird username. And Tori's been having some really great. My friend Tori in our community. If you guys see Tori down there and you're not following, yeah, I thought so, Daniel. Weird username, man. Are you starting a new meme? You should follow Tori because her content is going crazy lately. She is so sincere and authentic and thinks about this stuff in a really thoughtful way. I love it. I love you, Tori. And I totally agree. I'm very excited for what's going to happen. But I don't think Tori was talking about you're going to work side by side with an AI assistant. Like some people and AI assistants will have the same job, and I just don't think they will. I think that will be rare. Computers will do one thing, humans will do other things. Unless the humans really want to do those jobs, and they'll probably be free to.
That's not Daniel. That's if I'm not mistaken, you're the Radix fan.
Ah,
Hey,
I like the
remembering you?
emojis though.
Am I remembering you correctly?
Radix, man, I haven't heard about Radix in a minute. I haven't heard about that in a minute. Okay, hang on. Train and hotel problem. Are you familiar with that, Alex? Because I am not. Or if I am, is it a double spend thing? I don't know. Let me look at that train and hotel problem and maybe get back to you. I feel like we might have other questions that we can answer better and valuably.
Being blinded by the sun and going through the chat right now, so
I was like, you're entering your dark phase because for a second it was like emo.
just just being being blinded. I need to get darker curtains.
I'm a Radix guy. Wasn't you remember our Faceless Crypto Discord? We had Booze was in there. That was the first place I heard about Radix. I really enjoyed talking with Booze. I miss Booze. I don't know what they're doing now. Booze, wherever you are, wherever you may be.
Jesus.
Oh.
We're back.
Alex,
We're good.
which tool do you use to do your AI resumes? Do you use Resume.io? Is that the one?
It's resumebuilder.com. I just put it in the chat. I'll show it. My chat's kind of being a little strange. It keeps like cutting off comments, like only displaying half of them for some reason.
I want to show you Resume. I don't remember if it's Resume Builder or Resume.io that I used. You'll have to look at my resume and tell me. Have you seen my resume? It's kind of like colorful and graphic.
Yeah.
It's the same tool, right? I'm pretty sure I stole it from you.
I've used both. Yeah, this one in particular, I was on Resume Builder just because I had the free trial.
Let me show you guys these resumes because they're actually like fantastic in terms of I've never seen a resume like this. It was super easy to like fill it out in the application. This is not a sponsored post, but it could be. I actually had a real problem trying to cancel my membership with this company. Where the hell is my Adobe? Open the doors. Check this out. Look at this thing. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that guy. He looks professional. And then, it lets me, this format, I love it. It really lets me like tell a story up front. And then, here's my skills. And then all my, myriad experiences. I absolutely love it. I'm a big fan. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big fan of the long resume because then you can put, stuff you've done for free, volunteer experience. I have a version of my resume that has testimonials from people who've worked with me.
yeah.
Like forget your one-page boring white resume, man. Get out of here.
I've kind of been changing my mind on that lately because I used to think like, oh, absolutely, that resume is way too long. But then you realize like more and more times you submit a resume to something and no one's reading the resume anyway. They're scanning it and pulling out information. So you might as well make the thing 30 pages long because they're just going to scan it with a tool looking for keywords instead. And then if they decide to come back and look at it, then you'd rather have more information than not. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
and they've got
not a resume expert, so huge bag of salt on that one.
Totally. I'm not either. There are a lot of people who would give you better advice, but I would say just in terms of that tool, easy to use. They have a freemium version. I think it's got like a 7 or 14-day free trial, and then you can do a monthly plan. I think it's like $20, and you can cancel anytime. I recommend it. I think it's great. I feel like we had something that we were going to touch and we've missed it. This is our Unhinged Thursday show. So while we're stopped, let me remind you that we take any question. We're glad to answer it. And if we don't have an answer, we will find an answer for you. Be sure you do all the things that help the show, like Alex said earlier. First, easiest, tap the screen. It really helps us to say to sponsors, we had, 2,700 viewers today and we got 90% more likes than other people with an audience our size, kind of thing. Also, shares. They really help. You can honestly just share this live with us. The gifts are so kind and so appreciated, Ms. Gee, but you absolutely don't have to spend any money to support the show. You can like us, share us, sign up for the newsletter at the link in our bios. You're going to get this show condensed into like a page every week. And then also you can help us out by subscribing to our YouTube channel. After the show today, we are going to go there, Faceless_Labs, and we're going to upload a couple of like medium length videos on some of the topics we've been covering because, it's tough to go back and watch a 90-minute show where we do some Q&A and banter. This is great for TikTok, but we want our friends on YouTube to have some better content for them too. So we're going to do that today and work on the newsletter. And you know what we haven't done, Alex, this week? We haven't talked about POAPs, man. Are we giving out POAPs again via the newsletter? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't know about POAPs, where have you been? We are big fans of POAPs. It's a great way to start creating your own tokens and start using this stuff in a way that I think will look like how people will use it in 5 or 10 years. Totally free to make, free to claim. Great way to prove you did, as Alex says, a thing. And we love them. Yeah, maybe we'll give out the POAPs, the secret word, and the instructions in this week's newsletter.
We will absolutely do. I think we should do the next couple especially since I really want to, start putting together some plans for like POAP holder rewards in whatever form. Um, and almost no one claimed the POAP from last week's newsletter. So
Oh, it's still out there.
it's still out there.
That's
There's
exciting. I think we could make it a quest too. Like instead of just saying the secret word is, I absolutely think we could do like the secret word is the first two letters of the contract for this. Just give people a little quest. That could be fun. That could be fun.
I'll get to getting on some. I have a bunch of like drafted POAP arts.
Yeah, Alex, you've been killing it with POAP art. I must say.
Dude, I want to do a video about just like using Midjourney now because it's been a while since I've talked about it, and they've done so many updates, and you can do so many incredible things with that tool right now. It's up there with favorite AI tools of all time out of everyone I've ever used for sure. It's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you're really turning in beautiful work on it, man. I
Thank
think
you.
you're turning in beautiful work. You're welcome. We got a recommendation from Ace in the comments about Upload, a sci-fi comedy. I have not seen it. Might
Yeah,
have to
it's
check it
funny.
out.
I haven't seen a ton of it, but what I've seen, a few of them, it was enjoyable.
Someone in our comments, Harshini, thanks for sticking here with us, by the way, Harshini, for the whole show. You've been here the whole time. We love it. Looking for a job as a full stack developer with machine learning, which website would you recommend to apply? Uh, Honestly, any of them at this point. If that's what your resume is, I feel
Yeah,
like you could go outside and shout and somebody would hire you and they'd probably pay you a lot of money
yeah.
too. The question is, let us know, do you want to work for a startup? Are you trying to work in Web3? Are you trying to work for like an established company like a Google?
Dude,
Um,
listen, if
you trying to
that
come work for us?
if that's the skill, if that is the skill set that you are looking for, work in full stack developer with machine learning experience, just post on Twitter that I'm a full stack developer with machine learning experience and I'm looking for a job, and just sit back and pick
Dude, right?
because
Or LinkedIn. Are you on LinkedIn, Harshini? I mean, I
you
just,
don't you don't need to apply for anything. People are aggressively headhunting that exact profession day and night.
yeah. And that's one of those things you could probably get three jobs and none of them would ever know because they'd all be remote. And,
Yes.
if that's your thing, you could stack some jobs that way.
Oh yeah.
I really
Yeah.
think.
That is
Oh
an
my God.
incredibly in demand skill.
I wish that was my skill set. I would
Um,
probably, not be at the memecoin casino right now, or I'd be playing bigger games at the memecoin casino.
so Eddie asked about exchanges. Happily talk about exchanges. I'm sorry, I don't understand what the envelope thing is. Uh, I don't know what that means.
The envelope thing? I'm looking. I don't see.
Something about applying to exchanges. I'm sorry if it's just going right over my head. I'm just not quite sure what you mean.
Somebody listened to the Rising Up podcast. Does size matter episode? I'm glad. I forgot about that episode. We have a whole history on our YouTube channel and on Apple Podcasts, etc., of the Rising Up podcast. We got Rise Up Morning Show, Rising Up podcast. That was our attempt to do like a couple times a month, long form sit downs behind the scenes of Web3 with the people you would recognize and know and love from the media or from what they've built. Our lawyer, our accountant,
The guy who
less
built
interactive
Tether.
than this, but which one?
The guy who built Tether.
The guy who built Tether, so like there are some really great episodes there that the conversations are still super valid. And then there's some like weird stuff too. Weird in a good way, obviously, but we wanted it to feel like, you're right here with us building the future. And we really, I'll tell you what, this show, it has taken many forms, but it took us a long time to just bring it back to TikTok where we
Mhm.
live anyway. And I'm so glad we did because I have a lot of
Yeah.
fun here with everybody.
No, I remember the day when I was like, why aren't we just doing this live on TikTok? And
Yeah.
neither one of us had an answer, and then we started, and it's been infinitely better ever since.
Are you guys devs? Absolutely not. Can the devs please do something? Can you make me a dev? No. We know devs. That's our secret superpower. We know devs. We know how to
Mhm.
talk to devs. And also, when devs say stuff that make other people go, huh? We can kind of figure it out well enough to say, like, what he means is, you know what I mean. What she means is whatever.
Did you?
Um,
Has nothing to do with anything, but Tori
okay.
just said that she doesn't go on Twitter anymore, and I barely do either.
I feel like
You know,
you're there a lot, man. Every time I log in, I see a new post from you.
I I've been trying. So I in the last couple days, I've been trying to like post more stuff there because I went pretty hard for a while. I grew a good number of followers after trying for a little bit, and then I just got absolutely nuked by the algorithm because I canceled my premium membership. Um, so then I bought it again to see if it would like fix or help, and it absolutely has not. Um,
They're
and so
holding a grudge.
now, yeah, for real. Now I exclusively use it to just talk to like my friends who exist on the platform is the only thing I do there. And once in a blue moon, I'll like share something. But I mean, I used to just look at it all the time, and I just don't. And I was laughing yesterday because I saw some clips from the Don Lemon and Elon Musk interview. Did you watch any of that?
Don Lemon interviewed Elon Musk. I don't even
Uh,
remember who Don Lemon is.
Don Lemon, I know
Is
that
he a good one or a bad one?
he's a controversial. I don't think he's
Oh my God,
necessarily.
is he a black man? And if he is, and I just asked, is he a good man or that? That's so I didn't even have any.
No, he was yes, you're
I
thinking of
just
the
don't
right
know
one.
who he is. Is he a good or bad commentator? I mean, like, is he a good witch or a bad witch?
Yeah. Don't worry. He was a CNN anchor. I think he was on CNN for
Okay,
a while.
so like
Uh,
left leaning but centrist,
yeah.
mainstream. Okay,
Gives the illusion of being
of
central.
liberalism. Yeah.
Um, I don't remember if he was fired or if he quit.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say he's an openly gay reporter, and so of course he dealt with controversy for some stupid reason about that. For some reason
Yeah.
that was noteworthy. But anyway, he's I've seen a lot of his interviews, and he's definitely removed himself from public eye for a long time. And anyway, he came back with a vengeance, and he interviewed Elon Musk. And the vibe that I got from the interview was that it was one of the first times that an intelligent human being has talked to Elon Musk on camera, and you just realize that Elon Musk is really not that smart, and it like kind of hurt. You just real like he's very good at probably business, right? So he's just got really smart people around him that do stuff. But when you like, there was just all these moments where like he would use a word that didn't belong in that part of the sentence, and Don Lemon would just go, "What?" And then he would repeat himself with the wrong word, and he'd be like, "Huh, okay," and just move on. And anyway, Evan, I would be interested to hear your opinion on it. It's interesting, but one of the things that came up was this is why I segued to this and went on a
Okay.
tangent is ADHD. Was that Elon Musk made a claim about the airline industry and just said
Okay.
that he was unhappy that they were relaxing standards for aviation maintenance and pilots, specifically for minorities and women, which is just a absolutely bananas bullshit claim. Um, and Don Lemon confronted him on it and just are you aware of the damage that you do when you say something like that? Because like you're a very influential figure, and lots and lots and lots of people listen to the things you say. And Elon Musk literally quoted Twitter thread replies as evidence to support his claim. Because some of the people in the replies will cite a source before they reply. And Don Lemon was you could just watch his mind get blown that this like richest man in the world was citing Twitter thread replies as a credible source of information. Not to say that people can't say true things in replies, but like imagine writing a paper and
Yeah. Right.
in your citations at the end you just like linked to a Twitter thread. Like that would never work.
No.
So anyway,
Unless it was a Twitter thread by like a verified PhD in whatever subject that happened to be at hand.
But in that case, then you would never cite the Twitter source. You would go and cite that PhD's research wherever
That's
they,
exactly right.
yeah. So in no world, even if a PhD is talking, and okay, playthings, I'm not going to get into an argument about whether or not Don Lemon is smart, because no one who's going to give me an opinion about his intelligence level is going to give it to me in any other context other than disagreeing with him politically or agreeing with him politically, and I don't care. But what I mean by that is someone who coherently speaks the English language and just knows what word definitions are, and can just ask a question that is not, "What's it like having so much money?" Um, that's what I mean. And Don Lemon was just basically confronting him on things he said. And then when Elon Musk would regurgitate a bunch of like big words that he used correctly or incorrectly, and just made some weird claim that just sounded like the kind of eccentric genius, excuse me. Um, that's what I mean. He didn't like let him get away with just fronting as an eccentric genius. He was like, dude, the thing you just said makes no sense. And I think it's one of the first times I've seen an interview with Elon where they didn't just let him do whatever he wanted in the interview and then come away from it looking like a genius that we just don't understand.
It,
That's
yeah,
what I
it baffles me how many journalists too will step into an interview with somebody and just not be prepared themselves.
Yeah.
It's a performance like anything. Alex, did you see this from Harshini? Let me know if you have a different answer. They were talking about their husband is the full stack AI developer and wanted to know if they could send them our way.
100%. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Links in our bio work. I have like an email there. You can message us directly on TikTok. I'm happy to
100%.
share with him anything that might help. I subscribe to a couple of like job newsletters and communities to try and connect people with opportunities. But we just would love to chat. I bet maybe he'd make you a good guest on the show.
Sure. I mean, I never get tired of talking to developers.
Well, good for you.
It's a skill I do not have, and I don't even have. I know enough to know that I know nothing about
Just
it.
nothing.
Put
Yeah.
it that way. Yeah.
I'm in the exact same boat. I am curious about it and interested in it, but after a while, I gotta change the channel on the TV. You know what I'm saying?
No, it can be done. I mean, I'm a little spoiled too, just because my dad is a very 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 experienced veteran developer. To the point where when I told him that we were getting stalled and having a hard time with some of the game dev stuff, he's just like, hold on. And now he's just like adding game developer to his resume and doing the whole thing. So that was fun.
Can I just say one last thing about like Twitter and verifying? It's like sort of a tangent on your tangent, but I think it's really important. The culture now of like accepting anecdotal experience, even from experts, as if they are verifiable experiments, is like pandemic. I had a conversation with someone after this video I did about cardboard. Found out through empirical science that there is a lot of evidence that shows cardboard, while effective at killing weeds and helpful in the short term, if you want to, just like put some food in your garden that doesn't have to compete for space in the soil, super helpful. But it hinders the exchange of gas, bad for the long-term healthier soil. All that to say, it's empirical experiment data where they document how they isolated one variable and tested adjustments to it in ways that allowed them to predict the outcome and validate or invalidate a hypothesis. Anyone can repeat it, anybody can find it. Their peers, who are also agriculturalists, horticulturalists, reviewed it before it was published to ensure that the experiment had rigor. And I have met already just a lot of response from people that shows that we are sort of starting to culturally equate experiments with anecdotal experience. And the difference is you may be a permaculturalist who spent 20, 30, 40, 50 years using cardboard in a garden, but you probably haven't used a simple instrument to measure the exchange of gas in the soil. Your experience is valid and important, but it should not be conflated with what is an experiment, a measurable, testable thing that allows us to make predictions about what we know about the world. I I don't know. I don't want to be such an extremist about that, but I think that's really important. And
Yep.
especially when it's in like common cultural discourse, like somebody's interviewing Elon Musk and he's going to make a big claim where not everyone else is going to do their research. They're just going to take his word for it because he has credibility.
I
Um,
mean,
Dangerous, man.
it's a problem because anecdotes are not evidence.
Yeah.
That's not to say that they're not valid.
Well, I would say they're evidence, but they're not experiments.
They're just it's a different kind of valid. They're valid
Yeah.
in the terms of your experience, but like context matters. There's always nuance. And they're often presented as like cold hard undeniable fact, and then
Yeah.
someone like Elon's claim there was that it doesn't matter if he says something grossly inaccurate on Twitter because he will get fact checked in the comments. And then the response, which is 100% accurate, was, do you really think that people go any further than reading your post? Because that is the Trump doctrine right there. It doesn't matter what you say because someone will fact check it so you can get away with it, but no one's going to read the fact check. The damage was done the second you make the false claim. When you are that platformed and that influential. So that's why anecdotes are dangerous. I don't have any thoughts on Tesla other than if I was Tesla, I'd be a little worried about Rivian's R2, R3, and R3 Pro or whatever it's called, because the initial reports and comparisons between the two platforms are not in Tesla's favor. But I'm not like an expert, so I don't have a. Oh, okay.
You're not an expert, Alex. You don't know everything. Alex made a lovely comment on my video yesterday when I said, about our show. We don't know everything. We're not going to lie to you and say that we do. Alex said, "What are you talking about? I literally know everything." And sometimes I think he might be right. He surprises me with his wealth of knowledge. This friend of mine. Alex, what do you think? I feel like I'm pretty well met for the week. We've had a lot of good conversation, a lot of back and forth, and I want to make a video and then get to work on the newsletter kind of vibe. That's like what I'm feeling. And I think our friends here, you guys, do we want to promise as like our way of saying goodbye? We talked about doing Rise Up After Dark. Do we want to put it on the schedule?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just tell you, I got a text from somebody who asked if I could do a gig tonight or tomorrow. So how you answer this question will change the outcome of our future. When do you want to go live, man? We'll do a weekend Rise Up After Dark.
Tomorrow would be better.
And tomorrow is Friday, right? I've been in the casino too long. The lights are hurting my eyes.
You know what's funny is Jordan told me this morning that it's been a scatter week because not one single day of the week has he known what day of the week it was. And I was like, oh, that's exactly how I feel.
Wait till you're an adult, Jordan. Later the better, Mo says. Tori says, ooh, I'm free tomorrow. Okay. Then today, let me just double check real quick what's on my calendar for tomorrow because I have this creeping, sneaking suspicion that I have something tomorrow. And I have this bad habit of like making a schedule thought. Oh, I'm playing in an old folks home tomorrow. I cannot wait for that. Oh, that's November. How the hell did I get to November? Sorry, guys. Yeah, tomorrow, Friday. And then also the other question I had for folks in our audience, Tori made a really good suggestion about maybe we could include a poll in the newsletter. I just don't know what to ask people, except who's cooler, me or Alex? And, we know how that's going to go. So if there's something you really want to know the answer to that we can poll about, then let me know. Otherwise, we're going to do just the same kind of thing we did last week. The briefest, most valuable bullet points from our weekend review, maybe a little preview of what's coming up. And I suggested to Alex, maybe we could do like a dog update because everyone likes to see our dogs all the time.
Sure.
That might be cute with a link to Lovable Paws for people who want to send their baby Doge there. Hell yeah, baby Doge. Okay, today is the 21st, 22nd. Let's see what I have. Oh, I actually could do tomorrow night. Tomorrow night would be fine. If you want to do it. Friday night feeling right. I could do any time after, after like 5 your time. So I'm good.
Works.
Okay.
Zigzag, I gave one single example that was off topic and a tangent. It's not the focus of this conversation. And as I say a million times, every single person needs to be fact checked. You shouldn't take anyone's word for anything. You should always look up stuff. I don't give a shit what side of the political spectrum they are on. They are all equally capable of lying to you. And they do every single day from both sides of the aisle and from the middle of the aisle and from completely outside of the aisle. Every single one of them. I couldn't care less.
And I'm going to save you from yourself to say, Tori just had a great idea in the comments. Sign up for the newsletter right now. Link in my bio, link in Alex's bio. You can unsubscribe later. You won't hurt my feelings. We are going to talk and confirm the time of tomorrow's live, and it will be sent to you in the newsletter. We only have a little polishing to do, and I'm going to get it done today so that we can send it out tomorrow to you. Look for it about this time tomorrow morning, and then expect that we'll be going live sometime in the evening. We will confirm, though. We'll say in the newsletter, we're going live at this time for Rise Up After Dark, and there will be a poll that says, in the future, what days and times work best for Rise Up After Dark. And we'll make it easy for you to just give your feedback, and it'll be a maybe a more unhinged, more laid back. I don't know what it's going to be. It's after dark.
I think too, you can set a notification for getting alerted, like when someone goes live on TikTok. But I've experienced, in my experience, it's not horribly consistent, and sometimes they misfire. But I don't know. You can always try that just in case, because my goal for the Rise Up After Dark idea is that we'll probably experiment with a couple different times and just sort of see what works. Part of the goal is, of course, to reach new audience members as well that have missed us because the time doesn't work, and then two, just to reach people at a different time. So I think we'll probably try a couple different evening ones. I mean, dude, when I used to go live all the time, it was from midnight to 2 a.m. every night.
Yeah.
And that was pretty widely attended. So I would even mess with the middle of the night at some point.
That's what I was doing last night in the memecoin casino. Yep. So we will have episodes up on YouTube. My goal is tomorrow, after the newsletter gets published, or about the same time, those will be live. We're going to have a newsletter to you tomorrow. Go ahead, sign up. The link in my bio, the link in Alex's bio. The other ask I have is, you can get there from us, but the website is just theriseupmorningshow.com. We've got newsletter signups there. We've got a testimonial form. If you have found this show valuable, the other thing we really would sincerely ask you to do is leave us a testimonial. It can be one sentence about why you love this show. And it will help the sponsors. Or, what do you got?
Or if there's something that can be improved, I mean, let us know there too.
Yeah, I do believe I have a question for improvements, like how can we be better? What would you like to see? And if I don't, I will update the form to make sure it has that. It's the briefest thing. Super helpful to us. And then, you can find other stuff. If you want to support the show, you want to buy a Rise Up Morning Show mug. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Tori. Your mugs are on their way. Did you get them yet? You can do all kinds of stuff. And we're working on expanding how you can get value from us, from our community, and how you can, rise up, so we say. The Discord is there. We've got a free Discord community where we can have long form conversations. We're not on the air. I mean, just go check it out. TheRiseUpMorningShow.com. It's fun. It's cool. Kyle did awesome branding that I just absolutely love to flex on everybody else's lame stream. Not that their streams are lame. They're trying. What a mean guy I've turned into. Alex knows what I mean. But that's what I got, man. I'm well met. I just appreciate everyone for tuning in so much.
As am I. Yep, I've got some videos to do, probably some meming to meme, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep. Bye for now, everybody. Until next time, my friends, rise up.